The unshakable power of the chosen ones. Have you ever felt different? Like the world around you shifts when you walk into a room? Perhaps it's the whispers you overhear, the glances filled with curiosity, or even discomfort, and the way your presence seems to command attention without you saying a word. It's not arrogance or coincidence. It's something deeper, something divine. You are not ordinary. You are chosen. But being chosen is not just a title. It's a responsibility, a calling that disrupts the familiar and shakes the foundations of the world around you. It's a journey filled with challenges, rejection, and moments of solitude. Yet, it's also one of extraordinary strength, resilience, and purpose. The power you carry isn't about loud declarations or grand displays. It's rooted in faith, forged in trials, and sharpened by adversity. This journey is not for the faint-hearted, but for those who are willing to rise above the noise, thrive in chaos, and walk boldly in their divine calling. You've been set apart for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. Each step you take, whether celebrated or misunderstood, is a testament to the work God is doing through you. So, what makes you so different? Why does your presence unsettle some, inspire others, and demand attention wherever you go? It's because you are walking in divine authority, guided by a light that cannot be hidden. This series will take you deeper into understanding what it truly means to be one of God's chosen ones, how to face fear, rise above rejection, thrive in chaos, and redefine the very game others are trying to win. Prepare yourself. The journey we're about to embark on will challenge you, inspire you, and ignite a fire within you that no storm can extinguish. You are chosen, and it's time to embrace that truth fully. Let's begin. Part 1. The Power of Divine Purpose. Beloved chosen ones, have you ever entered a room and felt a distinct change in the atmosphere? The hushed whispers, the stolen glances, and the subtle unease that your presence seems to cause are not mere coincidences. These reactions stem from the divine purpose within you, a light so brilliant that it cannot be ignored. It is a power that disrupts the status quo, a force that others sense even if they cannot articulate it. Your existence is a living testament to God's plan, and this is why those who once underestimated you now retreat. They recognize that something about you has transformed, even if they cannot pinpoint what it is. The truth is, you are walking in divine anointing, moving with a purpose that is far greater than yourself. This is not a role you sought or a position you campaigned for. It is a calling you have embraced, one that sets you apart and commands attention. Like David, who faced Goliath armed with nothing but faith and a sling, you embody a quiet but unshakable strength. You didn't ask for greatness, yet it found you because of your obedience and unwavering trust in God. David didn't seek applause or validation. He simply walked in the path laid out for him by God. In the same way, your journey is not about proving your worth to others, but about fulfilling the divine mission entrusted to you. Your light is not only a beacon for those seeking hope, but also a mirror that reflects the insecurities of those around you. It exposes their fears, doubts, and vulnerabilities, forcing them to confront aspects of themselves they'd rather ignore. This is why your presence can feel unsettling to others. It is not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are, anointed, chosen, and steadfast in your faith. Even your adversaries sense this power. Those who once schemed against you, who sought to undermine your journey, are now stepping back, overwhelmed by the very force they tried to challenge. They see in you a strength that cannot be shaken, a purpose that cannot be derailed. This is the essence of being chosen. You carry a divine authority that transcends human understanding, an authority that cannot be silenced or subdued. As you walk this path, remember that you are not alone. The same God who called David, Joseph, and Esther has called you. Their stories remind us that being chosen often comes with challenges, but these challenges are not meant to break us. Instead, they refine us, preparing us for the greater purpose ahead. Like a storm that clears the air, your presence disrupts, awakens, and inspires. You are a living example of God's power at work. Your victories, however small they may seem, are evidence of a higher plan unfolding. This is why even those who oppose you cannot deny the impact you have. They may not understand it, but they cannot ignore it. Your life, marked by divine favor, is a testament to what is possible when one walks in obedience and faith. So continue to move forward. Chosen one, embrace your divine purpose with confidence, knowing that the light within you is not just a reflection of God's love, but a force that can change the world. You are not called to blend in, but to stand out, to be a reminder of what it means to live a life led by faith. Let the world see your light and know that it comes from a source far greater than yourself. This is the power of divine purpose, and it is yours to carry boldly and unapologetically. Part 2. Thriving in Chaos. Chosen ones, have you ever wondered why you seem to excel in situations that would crumble others? While the world panics, freezes, and falls apart in the face of uncertainty, you stand firm, steady, and unshaken. Chaos, which devours so many, seems to sharpen you, molding you into something stronger and more focused. This isn't by accident, it's a defining mark of your calling. Chaos has a way of revealing truths that comfort often obscures. For most people, disorder strips away their sense of control, exposing the frailty of their plans and the shallowness of their foundations. But for you, chaos does the opposite. It draws out the strength, faith, and resilience that God has placed within you. Where others see calamity, you see opportunity. Where others feel fear, you feel purpose. This is what sets you apart. Think of Job, a man whose life descended into chaos. He lost his wealth, his health, and even his children. Everyone around him, including his wife, urged him to give up. Yet Job's faith remained unshaken. His words, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him," reflect a resolve that only comes from divine trust. Chaos didn't destroy Job. It revealed his unwavering faith and prepared him for restoration and blessings far greater than what he had lost. This principle applies to you. When everything around you seems to collapse, something within you rises. The challenges you face are not meant to break you, but to bring out the strength that God has planted deep inside. It's in these moments that you discover what you're truly made of. You don't merely survive chaos, you thrive in it, turning what was meant for harm into a testimony of God's power in your life. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood in the fiery furnace, unharmed, because they refused to bow to the pressures of man. The fire that was meant to destroy them became the stage for God's glory. You are no different. The flames you face are not there to consume you, but to refine you, making you stronger, sharper, and more aligned with your divine purpose. Have you ever noticed how calm you feel in the midst of a storm? While others spiral in fear, your focus sharpens. It's as if the chaos is a puzzle designed just for you, a challenge that you are uniquely equipped to solve. This calm isn't accidental. It's the presence of God within you, guiding you and giving you clarity when everything else is unclear. Your ability to thrive in chaos is what makes you dangerous to those who oppose you. They can't understand how you move so effortlessly through situations that leave them paralyzed. Your strength, rooted in faith, is both unpredictable and unshakable. They try to figure you out, to anticipate your next move, but they can't. Your actions are guided by a higher wisdom, one that they cannot grasp. Consider David again, standing before Goliath while the entire Israelite army trembled in fear. Where others saw an insurmountable challenge, David saw an opportunity for God to demonstrate his power. He stepped forward not with conventional weapons, but with faith, and that faith turned the tide of an entire battle. Similarly, the chaos you face today is not an obstacle but a platform for God to reveal his strength through you. People fear what they cannot control, and they cannot control you. This is why your presence unsettles them, why whispers grow louder when you're around. Your confidence in chaos, your ability to rise while others fall, makes you a force they never expected. Let them talk, let them fear you, and let them retreat, because you have work to do. While they waste time trying to decipher your moves, you're already building, planning, and conquering. Chaos doesn't break you, it reveals you. Every storm you face is an opportunity to grow stronger, to sharpen your focus, and to demonstrate the power of God working in your life. So when the next wave of uncertainty comes, don't shrink back. Walk into it with confidence, knowing that you were made for this. Let the chaos refine you, and when the dust settles, you'll be standing stronger than ever before. This is your power, chosen one, and it's time to embrace it fully. Part 3. Rising above rejection. Rejection, for many, is a painful end, a door slammed shut that leaves behind feelings of inadequacy and defeat. But for you, chosen one, rejection is never the end. It is a redirection, a stepping stone designed to propel you closer to your divine destiny. You do not crumble under rejection. Instead, you rise above it, using it as the fuel to drive you forward. This is the hallmark of someone called and anointed by God. Think about Joseph, a man betrayed by those closest to him. His brothers, consumed by jealousy, threw him into a pit and sold him into slavery, believing they had stripped him of his dreams. But what they didn't understand was that their betrayal was the very catalyst God used to position Joseph for greatness. What they intended for harm, God used for good. Years later, Joseph stood as Pharaoh's right hand, a leader who not only saved nations during a famine, but also became the salvation of the very brothers who had betrayed him. This is the pattern of rejection for the chosen. It does not destroy you, it elevates you. Every closed door, every betrayal, and every dismissal becomes the foundation upon which God builds something extraordinary. Have you noticed how the very people who once doubted you are now watching you from the sidelines? They expected you to fade away, but instead, you've become a living testimony of resilience and divine favor. Your ability to rise above rejection isn't about proving others wrong. It's about staying true to the purpose God has placed within you. When others said you weren't enough, you didn't argue or retaliate. Instead, you let their words fuel your determination. Rejection didn't weaken you. It strengthened your resolve. You took their dismissals, shaped them into stepping stones, and used them to climb higher than they ever imagined. This is why rejection is so often a part of the journey for the chosen. It refines you, stripping away the need for approval from others and teaching you to rely solely on God's guidance. While others are crushed by rejection, you see it for what it truly is, a divine setup. Rejection removes distractions, clears your path, and focuses your energy on what truly matters. It's not a setback, it's a divine realignment. David's life is another example of this truth. When the prophet Samuel came to anoint the next king of Israel, David wasn't even considered by his own father. While his brothers stood in line, David was left tending sheep, overlooked and dismissed. Yet it was David whom God had chosen, the one the world saw as insignificant. When others rejected him, God elevated him. This pattern repeats in the lives of the chosen. You may be overlooked by man, but you are always seen by God. Rejection doesn't define you, it reveals you. Each no you encounter serves to sharpen your focus and deepen your faith. Instead of seeing rejection as a wall, you see it as a challenge, a chance to rise even higher. You've mastered the art of using rejection as raw material, transforming it into the foundation of your success. Where others see a loss, you see an opportunity. Have you ever noticed how those who once rejected you are now the same ones watching you in awe? They underestimated your resolve and doubted your potential, but their opinions didn't stop you. They thought closing a door would end your journey, but it only made you more determined to build your own path. Their rejection, meant to hinder you, became the very thing that pushed you closer to your purpose. This is why you're dangerous to those who doubt you. They expect you to be crushed, to fade into obscurity, but you defy their expectations every time. Your resilience, born out of rejection, is a testament to the power of God's hand on your life. They cannot comprehend how you continue to rise, how you turn every obstacle into a stepping stone. It confounds them because they don't understand that your strength doesn't come from man. It comes from God. So, chosen one, the next time rejection knocks on your door, welcome it. Know that it is not the end, but the beginning of something greater. Let it refine you, focus you, and push you closer to your divine purpose. Remember, every no is a setup for a divine yes. And as you continue to rise above rejection, you will become a living testament to the truth that what man denies, God approves. Let their rejection propel you, not define you, because your story is still being written, and the best is yet to come. Part 4. Silence as Strength. In a world that thrives on noise, endless chatter, and the constant need to prove oneself, your silence stands as one of your greatest strengths. It unnerves those around you, not because it implies weakness, but because it reflects discipline, focus, and an inner authority that speaks louder than words ever could. While others rush to explain, justify, or defend, you remain still, observing, planning, and letting your actions speak on your behalf. Silence is not emptiness, it is power. Have you ever watched a lion in the wild? It doesn't roar when stalking its prey. It moves with precision and focus, conserving its energy until the exact moment to strike. Yet even in its stillness, everyone senses its authority. You are much the same. Your quiet demeanor is not a lack of strength. It is a manifestation of it. Others can feel your presence without you having to say a word, and this unsettles them because it is a quality they lack. People often misinterpret silence. They see it as vulnerability, a sign of not knowing what to say or do. But for the chosen ones, silence is deliberate. It is a calculated pause, a moment to reflect and gather strength. It allows you to observe the chaos around you, assess the situation, and act with precision when the time is right. While others waste energy on meaningless noise, you are conserving yours for what truly matters. Have you noticed how your silence often speaks louder than words? When others argue, over-explain, or lash out, you remain calm and focused, refusing to be drawn into unnecessary battles. This restraint frustrates them because they cannot provoke you or predict your next move. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their insecurities and lack of control. They feel exposed in your presence, not because of anything you've said, but because of what you've chosen not to say. This ability to remain silent and deliberate is a reflection of your faith and trust in God. You do not feel the need to defend yourself because you know that God is your defender. You do not rush to prove your worth because you are secure in your divine purpose. Like Jesus, who remained silent in the face of false accusations, you understand that sometimes silence is the most powerful response. It disarms your adversaries, confuses your critics, and demonstrates a level of confidence that can only come from divine assurance. Silence also creates space for you to hear God's voice. In the stillness, you can discern His guidance, gaining clarity and wisdom for the path ahead. While others are distracted by the noise of the world, you are tuned into the frequency of heaven. This connection is what allows you to move with purpose and precision, even in the midst of uncertainty. It is what enables you to remain unshaken when others falter. Your silence is also a form of protection. It shields your plans, your vision, and your purpose from those who might seek to undermine them. While others broadcast their every move, you operate in the shadows, quietly building, strategizing, and preparing for the next step. By the time others notice what you've accomplished, it's already too late for them to interfere. Your work speaks for itself, and your results echo louder than any words ever could. This is why silence terrifies those who oppose you. They cannot understand it, and what they cannot understand, they fear. They expect you to react, to engage in their games, but you don't. Instead, you let them expend their energy while you conserve yours. While they argue, you strategize. While they criticize, you create. And when the time comes to act, your impact is undeniable and unstoppable. Let your silence be your loudest roar. Chosen one, let it reflect your strength, your faith, and your unwavering focus on what truly matters. In a world full of noise, your stillness will be a beacon of power, a testament to the discipline and self-control that God has instilled in you. So keep moving in silence. Let them wonder, let them whisper, and let them fear the moment you decide to make your presence known. Because when you do, it will not just be heard, it will be felt. Part 5. Redefining the game. In a world obsessed with competition, where people measure their worth by outshining others, you stand apart. While they scramble for fleeting recognition, chasing titles, applause, and trophies, you have outgrown such trivial pursuits. Your focus is not on competing, it is on creating, building, and redefining what success truly means. This is what sets you apart and makes you a force they cannot match. The chosen ones don't waste energy trying to fit into a system that was never designed for them, while others fight to climb the same ladders. You are busy building a new one entirely. Your purpose is too great to be confined by the benchmarks and limitations of the world. You don't measure success by how you compare to others because you understand that their standards are too small for the vision God has placed within you. Have you noticed how people exhaust themselves trying to keep up with trends, chasing what's popular to gain attention? They see success as something external, something to be gained by outperforming others. But you see it differently. You don't follow trends, you set them. You don't chase opportunities, you create them. Your vision is not bound by the fleeting desires of the moment, but rooted in something eternal, something far greater than the applause of man. This is what makes you dangerous to those who thrive on competition. They can't predict your next move because you're not playing the same game. While they are busy competing with one another, you are redefining the rules, operating on a level they can't even comprehend. By the time they realize what you've accomplished, you're already 2 steps ahead, building something they never even dreamed was possible. Consider the difference between building a crown and building an empire. Crowns fade, their value tied to the fleeting approval of others. Empires, on the other hand, stand the test of time. While others are consumed with winning temporary accolades, you are focused on building something lasting, something that reflects the purpose God has placed within you. Your work is not about gaining validation. It's about fulfilling your calling and leaving a legacy. This ability to see the bigger picture, to operate beyond the constraints of competition, unnerves those around you. They cannot understand why you refuse to engage in their petty rivalries. They mistake your focus for arrogance. But in truth, it's simply clarity. You know what matters and refuse to be distracted by what doesn't. While they waste time comparing themselves to others, you are busy creating a path where none existed before. Think of David standing before Goliath. The Israelite army was paralyzed by fear, focused on competing with an enemy they believed they couldn't defeat. But David saw things differently. He didn't fight Goliath on the enemy's terms. He created his own strategy, using the tools and faith that God had given him. This is the power of redefining the game. It's not about fighting harder, it's about moving smarter, guided by divine wisdom. Your independence and refusal to conform challenge everything others think they know about success. They are used to systems they can control, rules they can manipulate, and benchmarks they can measure. But you operate outside of their reach, driven by a purpose they cannot understand. This is why your presence unsettles them. You are not playing to win their approval or meet their expectations. You are operating on a plane they cannot even see. And this is precisely why you're unstoppable. While they are busy competing with each other, you are creating something entirely new. While they chase after crowns, you are building an empire. While they seek validation, you are pursuing purpose. Your vision is not limited by what has been done before, but inspired by what is possible through God's guidance. You are not bound by the rules of their game because you were never meant to play it. So, chosen one, keep your focus. Let them compete with each other while you redefine the game entirely. Let them measure themselves against shallow benchmarks while you build a legacy that cannot be measured. The vision God has placed within you is too great to be confined by the expectations of others. You are not here to compete. You are here to create, to build, and to transform. And in doing so, you will leave a mark that cannot be erased. Part 6. Facing fear courageously. Fear is a force that stops most people in their tracks. It whispers doubt, amplifies uncertainty, and urges retreat when the path ahead seems too daunting. But for the chosen ones, fear is not a wall. It is a doorway. It's a challenge meant to be faced, not avoided. While others shrink back into comfort at the first sign of fear, you step forward, knowing that courage is the key to unlocking the breakthroughs that lie beyond. Fear does not paralyze you. It excites you. It stirs something deep within, igniting a sense of purpose that overshadows the trembling in your heart. You've learned to see fear for what it truly is, a test of your faith and resilience. Where others see fear as a reason to stop, you see it as an invitation to grow. It's in those moments of uncertainty, when everything inside you tells you to turn back, that you take the boldest steps forward. Think of Peter, stepping out of the boat and onto the water. The storm raged around him. The waves threatened to swallow him. And yet he took the step. He didn't wait for the sea to calm. He moved because he trusted that Jesus was with him. That single step was not just a moment of faith. It was a declaration that fear would not dictate his actions. Like Peter, you understand that growth begins where comfort ends. And it's in the unknown that God reveals his power. Have you ever felt that pull to step forward, even when fear told you to stay back? The moment when your heart raced, your hands trembled, but something within you refused to retreat? That is the voice of courage rising above fear, urging you to take the step that others won't. And when you do, you discover something extraordinary. Fear loses its power in the presence of action. Each time you move forward despite your doubts, you grow stronger, and fear grows weaker. Fear thrives on hesitation and inaction. It gains strength when you pause, second guess, or give it too much space to speak. But when you confront it head-on, fear crumbles. You've learned to make fear small, to strip it of its authority by refusing to let it dictate your choices. Every time you push forward, you prove to yourself and the world that fear has no hold over you. It's not that you don't feel fear, it's that you don't let it control you. This is what makes you different. While others are waiting for certainty, for a guarantee that everything will work out, you move forward with faith. You understand that certainty is not a prerequisite for action. Growth happens in the tension between fear and courage. In the space where you push yourself beyond what feels safe. Fear may be present, but it is not your master. Your faith is. Consider the story of Nehemiah, rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. His enemies mocked him, plotted against him, and tried to instill fear to stop his work. But Nehemiah refused to come down from the wall. He said, "I am doing a great work and cannot come down." Fear didn't stop him. It sharpened his focus. He kept building, step by step, until the wall stood tall, a symbol of victory and resilience. You are no different. The walls you are building in your life, your purpose, and your legacy will stand as testaments to your courage in the face of fear. Fear doesn't define you. It refines you. Each time you face it, you emerge stronger, wiser, and more equipped for the battles ahead. You've become an expert at turning fear into fuel, using it to propel you forward instead of holding you back. The very things that once intimidated you now excite you, because you've learned that the greatest rewards often lie on the other side of fear. This is why others don't understand you. They see you stepping into situations they would avoid, facing challenges that would overwhelm them. They can't comprehend how you move with such confidence, how you seem unshaken by the things that terrify them. But your confidence doesn't come from the absence of fear. It comes from your faith in a God who has never failed you. So the next time fear whispers for you to turn back, remind yourself of this truth. Fear is not the end. It is just the beginning. It is the threshold to your next breakthrough, the proving ground for your faith and courage. Step forward boldly, chosen one, knowing that each step weakens fear and strengthens your resolve. You were made to rise, to face the storms, and to walk through the doors that others are too afraid to approach. Fear may knock, but it will never hold you back. You were called to conquer it. Part 7. The hidden cost of success. Success often appears effortless to outsiders. They see the results, the confidence, and the momentum you carry, but they rarely see the sacrifices made behind the scenes. What they don't understand is that every step of your journey has come at a cost, a price you were willing to pay because of the purpose and vision driving you forward. You didn't stumble into success. You earned it through discipline, persistence, and unwavering faith. Have you noticed how people marvel at your victories but fail to acknowledge the battles that preceded them? They see the triumphs but not the sleepless nights, the moments of doubt, or the sacrifices made in silence. Your journey has been marked by perseverance, shaped by challenges that would have caused others to give up. Yet, you carried on, not for applause, but because you understood that the calling on your life was too important to abandon. Think of Nehemiah rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. His enemies mocked and threatened him, trying to distract him from his purpose. But Nehemiah stayed focused, declaring, "I am doing a great work and cannot come down." This is the mindset you've embraced. While others waste energy on distractions, You remain committed to the work before you, understanding that the cost of your focus is outweighed by the value of your mission. The hidden cost of success often includes solitude. You've learned that not everyone can walk this path with you. Some relationships have fallen away, not because of conflict, but because the vision God has given you requires a level of commitment and focus that others cannot match. This can be lonely, but it is necessary. You've come to realize that elevation often requires separation. The higher you rise, the fewer people can accompany you, and that's okay. Your sacrifices have also included moments of vulnerability. You've faced rejection, criticism, and doubt from others, yet you didn't allow their opinions to deter you. Instead, you used their words as fuel, turning every dismissal into an opportunity to grow stronger. While others sought validation from the world, you rooted yourself in God's purpose, trusting that His plan for your life far outweighed any human judgment. Success has also demanded adaptability. You've had to pivot, adjust, and learn from setbacks, often in the absence of guidance or support. This resilience, born out of necessity, has become one of your greatest strengths. Where others see obstacles, you see opportunities. What they perceive as failure, you recognize as a stepping stone. This perspective, combined with your determination, is what has allowed you to keep moving forward when others would have stopped. And yet, with every cost, there has been a reward. The discipline you've cultivated has brought clarity and focus. The solitude has deepened your connection with God, allowing you to hear His voice more clearly. The sacrifices have strengthened your character, preparing you for the weight of the blessings that are yet to come. Every tear, every setback, and every challenge has contributed to the masterpiece God is creating through your life. Your success also confounds those who don't understand the price you've paid. They assume it came easily because they didn't witness the process. They can't comprehend how you continue to rise, how you navigate challenges with such grace. This misunderstanding isn't your burden to correct. Let them see the results. You know the story behind them. The cost was high, but the purpose was worth it. The hidden cost of success is also a reminder of your strength. While others crumble under pressure, you thrive. While they retreat in the face of difficulty, you press forward. This resilience is not born of arrogance, but of the understanding that God's purpose for your life is greater than any obstacle. You don't shy away from challenges because you know that each one is shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for the next level. So, chosen one, embrace the cost. Let the sacrifices, the solitude, and the challenges serve as reminders of your purpose. You were not called to an easy path, but you were called to a purposeful one. The hidden cost of success is a small price to pay for the impact you are destined to make. Keep building, keep striving, and keep trusting. The world may not see the full story, but God does, and His approval is all that matters. Your journey is far from over, and the best is yet to come. Embracing the legacy of the chosen. As we reach the end of this journey, take a moment to reflect on the undeniable truth of who you are and what you are called to be. You are chosen, not by chance, not by circumstance, but by divine design. This path was never meant to be easy, but it was always meant to be purposeful. Each challenge you've faced, each moment of rejection, and each step into the unknown has been preparing you for something far greater than you can yet imagine. The world may not always understand you. They may misinterpret your silence, fear your resilience, and envy your strength, but their confusion is not your concern. Your focus is on the legacy you are building, the game you are redefining, and the light you are shining in a world that desperately needs it. You've thrived in chaos, turned rejection into fuel, and faced fear with unshakable courage. You've embraced solitude, sacrificed for purpose, and built your life on a foundation that cannot be shaken. You are not here to conform to the expectations of others. You are here to transform, to disrupt, and to lead. Your life is a testament to the power of faith and the beauty of walking in divine purpose. So, what's next? The answer lies within you. The world is watching, but more importantly, God is guiding. Let the lessons you've learned, the battles you've fought, and the victories you've claimed propel you forward. Keep building, keep thriving, keep trusting. Your story is still unfolding, And the best chapters are yet to be written. You are chosen, and that is your greatest power. Let the world see it, feel it, and be changed by it. This is not the end. It's the beginning of a legacy that will outlast the noise, the doubts, and the storms. Now, step forward boldly, chosen one, and leave a mark that only you can make. Your purpose is calling, and the time is now. Let's rise.